Jake, you calling from the car again?
Yeah, dude. I always think I'm gonna get out of work early and it doesn't happen. And today today was the same case.
We should call it French Press Podcast Ghetto version. And every time you're in the car, it's just gonna be the ghetto version.
I kind of want to be blasting some music. It's calming being on a podcast. It's a bit dangerous. I'm curious if I got pulled over by the cops, what they would say. I would be like, dude, it's for the content. You're really gonna do that? You're like
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
But what's going on? How's the week?
Good. Gonna train some people right after this, and then
Cool.
I got someone tomorrow morning. And then just kind of slowly getting everything ready to come back to Mass. So
Yeah,
when are you coming back to Mass?
it's a surprise.
dude,
Wait,
it's such
what?
bullshit. Yeah,
My
it's
parents
so
don't
bad.
even know.
Get what? Why are you gonna spring that on me? You should at least tell me.
I know.
Damn, bro.
But so I'll invite our guest real quick.
Yeah.
Most of you probably think he's the UFC fighter. Unfortunately, it is not. First time I met him was at Merrimack College. He was right in front of me when we were doing our interview day, and the woman was sitting down, asked what our name was, and this guy was in front of me. He says, "My name's Conor McGregor," and I go, "Dude, really? On the first day, you're just gonna start fucking with everyone?" And so I think she double take too as well. But anyways, him and I started talking, both ended up going to Merrimack for our master's in strength and conditioning, as well as coaching at Boston College where we met. And our relationship just kind of fostered from there, nurtured, and now we are here. So Conor McGregor, strength coach at UVM. Welcome, my friend.
How you doing? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, man. I was fired up.
Been a while.
I know.
It's been too long. Let's be honest.
Because we've had Zach on, we've had Billy.
Yeah.
And then I knew you were kind of going through some things with just like Gabby, like for training there and finding your spot. So I was like, let's wait till he gets settled in and then we'll talk. But
finishing up my first semester here, and obviously when I'm if I'm in Europe, it's pretty hard to coordinate a 8-hour time difference for a podcast. So I get it. Yeah. I totally wasn't really upset about the fact that I was the last of the BCGAs to get the invite, but I mean, I'll get over it.
Well, dude, I'm thinking when I get back, we should do a joint one where it's all four of us.
We absolutely should.
And then, with Jake, dude, oh my God.
This should actually be a thing that we should do for sure.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, no, Dan's been hyping it for a while. He, Connor, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the basement gym you were training at, Dan?
My basement?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, dude, that place is fucking savage.
It was pretty cool, right? So like we had, so it's just a straight up basement, and we used to have just this big, like nice, like ping pong table we would play at. And then as soon as COVID hit, I suddenly went from having this access to, a Division I facility at any time that I wanted at BC to basically being told, I can only leave to go get groceries, So we were like, me and my brother, my brother's studying engineering, man. So he just took apart the Smith machine, put it into, basically changed it into a permanent squat rack. And I picked up one of Boyle's old squat racks to like set off on the side for like a $150 off of my old boss. We assembled this old like hand-me-down bench press, and then we just got a bunch of like accessories off of Amazon, and it was just perfect. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it just looked like a playground for anybody that loves to train. But we had Billy and Zach on, and Billy was the one. He just said it would be endless laps if we had the round table. So I'm hoping we can do it. Dan, when you're home on your random date, let's actually coordinate that. I'd love to. It'd be sweet.
This is what we'll do.
When are you actually back? What date? Don't do that. Come on. I got limited time, man. I got to go back to train the swim team. You got to tell me.
Yeah, I'll tell you off hours. But this is what we'll do. We'll get a lift in at your house. 5 or 6 of us.
I'm already in.
And then we'll do our, every time we finish a workout, we make this huge dinner
Enormous.
Oh, yeah.
and then
Like
cigars.
absolutely egregious, just absolutely ginormous, just completely unnecessary.
What did we make last time? Like, what was one of our most like
Dude, we
sick
bought
meals?
like $50 worth of steak.
Yeah.
We ate until we were absolutely sick, and we just remember that giant vat of vegetables? It must have been like 10 pounds of vegetables.
Yep.
And I've
Yep.
also never seen a human your size put down that much food in one sitting. It's fucking insane.
It's so disgusting how much he can eat, dude.
Insane, because you know that he didn't eat for 18 hours, so he's just like waiting for that first bite, and as soon as he starts, it's like a landslide.
I'm like, I've been fasting.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that we can get a bit of a story, because as much as I'm so excited for this roundtable. Conor, tell us a bit. Where are you from? We always ask with strength and conditioning people, where are you from? How do you get into the strength and conditioning space? And tell us where you're at right now, if you don't mind.
All right. So bear with me. It's a bit lengthy. So I went
I'm ready, brother.
So I went to Florida Southern College. I played lacrosse down there for 4 years. I studied human movement and performance, had a minor in business. Towards, I'd say, second half of my junior year is when I really started to kind of gain some serious interest in strength conditioning in itself, just because I could see the direct correlation to how it helped us out on the lacrosse field, actually doing it with our coach and whatnot. After that, I took like a couple day break, and then I started my first internship at Saddlebrook Sports Performance, which is a facility down in Tampa that specialized in like professional tennis players and professional golfers. So I was there for about 6 months or so, kind of just got some building blocks of like what it was like to have a coaching presence, all that good stuff. I left to go play lacrosse in Australia for a year. I was on the West Coast over in Perth for a while, which is really a really awesome experience. Kind of got to enjoy it a little bit before I jumped back into strength conditioning. But that was something. But I came back. I got an internship with Harvard Strength Conditioning. I was a full-time intern for a full semester. Then I did part-time internship and was working as a personal trainer while I was applying for grad schools. I got into Merrimack. I got my number one choice for my fellowship placement to be a grad assistant at Boston College. I was there for about 7 months, I want to say. And Dan will attest to the 3:45 wake ups in order to get in on time for hockey, and leaving around 2 p.m. only to go start another full day of classes that ended at 9:50. So when COVID came in March and we never went back, I slept for about 18 hours at a time for the first week. But yeah, unbelievable experience. But I mean, it was really weird. It was really weird finishing my master's degree and like my presentation over a Zoom call. That was probably the only drawback. Let's see. After that, I had pretty dramatic hip surgery, so I was sidelined for about 3 months, just as a result of me playing hockey my whole life. I worked at a private facility for about 6 months while I was kind of dealing with the fallout of no collegiate availability for strength coaches during COVID. I mean, people were getting fired left and right. Let alone hiring new people. And I had some things on my radar. And, around the same time, actually, two things happened. I got reached out to a very good athlete of mine that I'd been in touch with ever since I was at Saddlebrook, asked me to go on tour with her for the French Open. So Roland Garros, and then for a couple tournaments in Eastbourne and Birmingham, England, and then Wimbledon. So I was over there for about 6 weeks, training her on the road, doing a lot of injury mitigation, recovery stuff with her for about 6 weeks, I want to say. And then when I came back, I had about 2 weeks to get settled, and then I landed a gig with UVM over a very good Zoom call with the director here, Mark. And I've been here. I moved up here, I want to say early August, and just finishing up my first semester here. I'm in control of swimming, diving, women's soccer, men's soccer. I assist with both of the hockey teams and the men's lacrosse team. And women and men's soccer won conference this year, so I'm pretty happy. Pretty. Yeah, I know. I'm pumped. I did. I'm the 0.01%. Let's be real, but I'm still gonna try and take credit.
Hell yeah, I would. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny, dude, because like we were always friendly over like Instagram or text or Snapchat, but we haven't really gotten connected. And after you kind of explained your story, I'm like, there is so much you've done since I haven't seen you.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's been wild. It's been wild. It really has been a journey. It's been crazy.
Dude, insane. So I know we can kind of touch upon a million things, but let's start right before I kind of moved out.
Let's save all of the crazy BC stories for the round table. I don't want to spoil
Agreed.
it. I need
no
Billy
spoilers.
as an audience for that. I need Billy and Zach as an audience for that.
Deal. So right before I left to Phoenix, I think is when you were starting your Europe tour with Gabby, right? So
Yes.
How did that first kind of conversation go when she reached out to you, and what did you have to take into account, knowing like, all right, I'll be with her in Europe for a couple weeks to a couple months, and then I'll just come home and kind of figure out the strength and conditioning career? Because I remember being on Instagram and I'm like, I thought Conor was just home and like you're in like England and then Germany and Belgium. Like what happened?
No, yeah. So it's actually pretty crazy too. I forgot to mention I had the opportunity while I was at Harvard. So I don't know if you remember Brian Du. He was the Celtics strength conditioning guy for about 15, 16 years. And I kind of briefly connected with him when he was working with the Harvard. I promise all of this will connect, don't worry. But he was working with the basketball team, more of a consultant, hands-on consultant with the basketball team at Harvard. We connected kind of briefly. And then, one day, a couple months later, after I left Harvard, he just shows up to my men's league hockey game. And I'm just like, Beto? And he's like, Conor? And then after that, we connected and I started shadowing him a bunch. And actually, Gabby was in town for something to visit her friend Ala, and we hung out. And I was like, "Hey, like, come to this hockey game tonight. It's gonna be just stupid men's league, but there's someone I want you to meet afterwards." And I introduced them, and like over a couple months, I want to say, Gabby kept coming back up because it was kind of this exposure to a training that she hadn't had before. And I was shadowing through every session. It was really awesome. Learned a ton, from a guy who's been in the industry for over 20 years. And she reached back out to me, asked me what my plans were in terms of all of the what I was doing with my career, and she wanted to be able to kind of emulate the kind of stuff that we were doing with Brian. And I'd known her for over 2 years at that point. She knew that I was in contact with Beto a lot. I was present with both of them, and kind of wanted to be able to take that on the road, because she didn't want to take anyone else that she didn't trust. So we built a pretty solid relationship, and we were able to kind of recreate that kind of stuff on the road.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious, when you had said like some of the things that you were doing with Bidu, and you had talked about kind of keeping her healthy and some of the corrective things you were doing with Gabby.
Yep.
What's a little bit different about your approach in terms of that's someone who's on like such a high level? How do you switch your protocol for somebody at like such an elite caliber? Does it become more injury prevention?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I was just having a conversation with one of the assistant coaches over here about this, actually, is that, in terms of strength conditioning, long-term strength conditioning, I mean, you're looking at a consistent, you need to string together solid sessions in order to see significant like adaptation. When you're working on the road with someone, you're basically trying to take someone who's already at the absolute very top of her craft and then basically make sure that she can continue to do what she's doing at a high level without any kind of injuries that's going to hinder her progress or her ability to perform at that top level. So just to use, for example, some things that she was dealing with on the road, because she's getting into her late 20s and just kind of feeling a result of, playing an overuse injury sport very consistently over and over again, overhead serving with the same hand over and over again, dealing with plantar fasciitis, lower back pain, and medial epicondylitis were some things that she had to deal with quite a bit. And believe it or not, we did a ton of glute activation stuff because she's such a tall player, right? She has, when they're playing at the net, right, when their partner is serving, they basically have to get to a certain position to basically be able to see what's going on and for there to be no obstruction for their player to serve it. So she's so tall that she'll bend down. Most players are able to kind of get down without any kind of compensation. She kind of compensates by flexing at her lumbar, and over time it was really starting to get to her, and then it was kind of manifesting itself in glute specific exercises and her inability to kind of feel what it's like to have them turn on, you know what I mean? So we worked on that stuff a lot in the gym. So it's not so much the traditional collegiate, hey, let's work through our micro, meso, macro cycle kind of stuff. What do we want for the end goal? It's more so, how can I continue to allow this person to keep doing what they're doing? I mean, she finished the season this year at number 5 in the world in doubles. So she just needs to keep doing what she's doing and not have anything that's going to make her get surgery, So
just don't mess her up. That's
yeah,
all.
just
That's
don't mess up. Yeah.
Well, no, and Connor, if you want to touch upon like the better the athletes are, the more the strength coach just tries to make them available for game day and healthy, right? Like, do you want to touch upon
exactly.
that?
I mean, the thing about tennis, if we're being honest too, is that it is an incredibly, I mean, when you're arriving for a competition like Wimbledon or the French Open or the Australian Open, the very top, one of the 4 Grand Slams, let's say, I mean, everyone that steps on those courts is an incredibly athletically gifted person, right? I mean, from all corners of the world. So what you really want to be able to capitalize on is, believe it or not, what's going to get them in the best mental space, This tennis is such a mental game, it really is. From top to bottom, you can see entire games just shift, just from a quick, whatever it might be. Someone might throw them off, or someone might give them that little bit of confidence, and you want to make sure that they're basically coming out of the tunnel with that optimal level of arousal.
Do you have a do you have a preference on the type of athlete that you're training? And that, I guess I'll make the distinction of like, this world-class person, just make them available as compared to progressing an athlete. Is one more fun, or are they just two different sides of the game?
So I guess there's 2 different ways to answer that, because if you want to take the ego approach with a strength and conditioning coach, you want to be able to say that you made tangible results happen. You know what I mean? You want to be able to get them on a force plate. You want to be able to see something actually change, something be able to manifest from the things that you're able to do in the gym with them. And I think that's where the fun and kind of the satisfaction comes from being, say, a collegiate strength coach, a high level collegiate strength coach, when you have a group of athletes that are really bought into a program, follows it to a T. And that way you kind of are able to go, shit, I was able to some degree take athletes who are good enough to play at the Division I level, right, and somewhat make them better, right? That's pretty incredible. That being said, being able to go on the road and being able to take a professional athlete who you can't necessarily change a huge physical quality in that amount of time, but if you're able to give them that edge to kind of break through the upper, level, then that's, I mean, it's depending on how you slice it. Yeah. But as an overarching kind of idea behind strength conditioning, I'd probably go with the former. There's a certain level of satisfaction to being able to kind of, methodically, systematically laying out like this long-term plan, and then just seeing it come to fruition is really satisfying.
What was the hardest part when traveling and just getting her ready to go?
I will tell you right now, the hardest part about traveling in England was the fact that everyone puts a beer in front of your face for every meal of the day. And you're like, dude, I'm going to blow up like a balloon. Do not stop. Enough. I remember I was on the fourth night in our host family. She's like, Conor, I see you've got another MTB in front of you. And like before I can even answer, she's uncorks someone, puts it right in front of me. Like, okay, I gotta go on a run. So I go for like a 6-mile run. I come back, I channel my inner Dan Canary, right? I was like, I gotta earn this. Okay. And then, before the beer was cold, I finished that one. I had to make sure I earned it.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, another big thing too is especially with COVID was a serious issue because things were bubbled out. I mean, besides the fact that I literally had to get swabbed every 24 hours, which was just ridiculous. But, kind of having these bubbles and divisions in like tents for like athletic equipment. And then sometimes we wouldn't even have access to it. So I'd have to go scope out the hotel gym. I might have to bring my bag in there that I have all my bands in, and then just be able to kind of cover everything that I wanted to cover with whatever I had available, So I guess being able to kind of have that reservoir of knowledge, like going into an environment like that, really helps out. Otherwise, you're looking around going, what the hell do I do with this?
Yeah.
Especially in Europe,
What was the setup like at the Open? Like you had just mentioned some tents in terms of, were you like on site with a training facility? Like, was there an area where it's like, all right, this is the strength and conditioning section, or like the warm up area as compared to
there was a high degree of variability between the tournaments. We went to 2 lower level tournaments in between the French Open and Wimbledon, and those were kind of a crapshoot to kind of figure out where we're going because restrictions were really high. We couldn't go outside of the bubble. I kind of had to make do with basically the hotel gym in itself. But at the French Open, there were 2 basically isolated facilities that were kind of connected to the practice courts, which were really available. It was kind of nice. But at Wimbledon, they basically took their giant, cavernous conference rooms, like in the lower level. And I went down there and there had to have been 15 exercise bikes, 8 treadmills, like 4 full squat racks, just like they moved everything out and moved everything in. It was pretty incredible. So once we got to Wimbledon and we were there for about 2 weeks, I was like, holy shit, this is everything you need. So it was kind of like being spoiled at the end of the trip,
Oy, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
it was nice.
Before the call, we were talking about you might be popping out there for a couple of weeks, right? In the spring?
In the spring?
Or when did you say?
Oh yeah, no, in the summer. So I'll have basically the months of May and June off come summertime. So whenever the men's lacrosse team finishes, hopefully it won't be till mid-May because they're going to go deep into the tournament. I'll be able to split from there and then go with her on tour, which I think would be all the way, because I need to be back here by July 1st. So I'd probably go on tour until like June 29th or something like that from mid-May, which means that I'd probably be able to go to Rome, Germany, Netherlands, France, and England before I'm happy to go back, which would be nice.
Send me a postcard.
Yeah,
Shit.
from every single place. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. That's awesome. Yeah. So
I'm pumped.
You got back, right? And then how did kind of UVM develop?
How did UVM develop? So man, the first couple of weeks were really weird because we're going through this transition period where I was supposed to start my preseason with my soccer teams, and UVM just then basically decided that it was the best time to basically renovate the entire athletic, everything that we were kind of able to get to. We ripped up all the turf and put down new turf on Virtue Field. And the weightlifting room that we had at the time, we had to hire a moving company to help us move everything over to a temporary space. So for the first 2 weeks or so was just like busy work and like trying to get things going. But after that, things came together really quickly. Figured out that it was the staff to be a part of for sure. I love my coworkers. Very young staff, but very knowledgeable and very hungry as well too. And it's a great thing to have a boss that really cares about your development as a strength conditioning professional, but also just as a human. So it's a great spot to be in for sure.
And the sport coaches, they great people. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Obviously,
you
did very well this year.
Yeah,
So,
they've been a pleasure to deal with for sure. Actually, there have been no hiccups there at all, which has been really nice.
perfect.
I love Vermont, man.
What?
I said I love Vermont. Like after we did the half,
Vermont.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I lost you there for a second.
You hear me?
Yeah, it just says my internet connection's unstable. Sorry about that.
No, man, you're good. I was just saying Vermont's sweet. We like did a half marathon up there, got a chance to go around Burlington. It's a good spot.
Oh yeah.
It's tight up there, yeah.
So it's a bit icy now, but when it was like really warm out, like August, September, I just spent like at the end of every day. I mean, the day would, no one was in, so the day would end by 1, so I would just split. I'd look on all trails and find some waterfall and just find it, or just go hiking somewhere at the top of a mountain is awesome. Or cliff jumping in Champlain, that was awesome. So I'm waiting for the warm weather again. So
no doubt. What's just because I know Dan was going to ask it at some point, what is your routine look like? Take us through a day of Conor.
Okay, let's see. So as I said before, I have the pleasure of training the swim and dive team. So that means 4 days a week. We got 6 a.m. lifts, one of those days being Saturday. So the alarm goes off on a normal day around 4:45 to allow myself to kind of get situated, get things going, kind of peel off my 3 nighttime sweatshirts and put on my jacket to head out. I usually defrost my body and my car in my car for another 20 minutes or so to make sure I get in for 5:30 to set up, and kind of just make sure my interns know exactly what's going on. Bless their hearts, they're in there at 5:30. Love it. Love to see it. We'll get through those lifts, finish up around 7. Then I'll probably have women's soccer come in around 7:30. Now, earlier in the season, that would be when men's lacrosse come in, at which time, Mark would take them through some speed and agility work, some med ball stuff, some low, whatever we can get to for plyometrics. Then we make our way over to the gym for a lift, dividing the teams up, obviously because it's a 50-man roster. So kind of divide and conquer, split them up into first year guys, developmental guys, and then what we call the gold group, the guys who are already strong enough. After that, I'll probably have one more team to be involved in. I'd say around like in between 10 and 12, I try to work through my checklist to make sure that I try to read in between 10 and 20 pages of whatever book, to try to get a little bit better each day. I will always try to sandwich a workout in there for myself. This semester, I actually did the gold groups lacrosse workout for the entire semester, just to kind of put myself through the same thing that I was preaching to them. And depending on the day, we might have meetings. I might have sport coach meetings. I might have staff meetings. I might have coaching university with the rest of the coaches, which is a really good opportunity for us every week to kind of learn new things. And then try to get home by 6 every night, I'd say, unless I have a podcast to be on.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, is it weird getting home at 6 and not 9:30?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, yeah. I forgot. Yeah. If men's or women's hockey is playing, then I'll be involved in the pre and the post game stuff too, because I'm the only certified lifeguard. So when they do their pool recovery after the game, I got to sit there and watch them swim.
Wow, you do it all.
Love that.
I just do it all. I go
You're
there.
an MMA fighter.
I can throw hands and I can save lives.
Yo, I'm curious. So you moved to Vermont. What's Conor McGregor do on the weekend, man?
What does Conor McGregor do on the weekend?
If you're not going to a game.
I'm not going to a game. So I'm actually I'm kind of trying to relive our COVID days, right? So this Sunday, this Sunday, I'm actually planning on doing a sunrise hike out to Mount Mansfield. A couple weeks ago, I was able to do a Camel's Hump hike, but this weekend, I heard there's going to be a dusting on Sunday morning, so I wanted to do a snow hike for once. So that'll be really fun. The availability to kind of go out, as we traditionally would, isn't really there, just because, Burlington, you're going to run into your athletes quite a bit. So yeah,
pretty small.
No, I try to have fun when I can. I try to save it for when I go home, if I visit my brother, if I see my family, any of that stuff when I go back. But yeah, a city is a city, man. I like to kind of explore the area for what it is, at least while I can, because I won't be here forever. So I want to see what it's all about.
Check it out. Yeah. Well, for the people talking about, or for you bringing up COVID and what we were doing, I think a couple weeks after they told us to go home from BC when the pandemic hit, we would go up to, what was the mountain called?
Oh, we went up Monadnock.
Like.
Oh, it's a great hike.
Oh yeah, sunrise hike. And we went right up there. What did we crush at the top?
Couple things. Number one, I would bring up this like big pint of coffee that I would make like the night before.
Hey, it was French press.
It was French press.
Yeah.
French press.
And I felt like I felt like a mountain man, or like the
that shit was jet
Goggins.
fuel.
Yeah, I felt like Goggins climbing up this mountain. Nighttime, we had our lights on our head, and I have like the treasure on the back of my back.
You don't remember us not wanting to slow down, even though we were dying because we were all strength coaches with massive egos. Nobody wanted to slow down. We're like
breathing like
lead
crazy.
Legs, dude.
Yep. So you
don't remember my outfit either.
Oh yeah, dude.
And Billy, hey, Amelia Earhart. You look like Amelia Earhart.
Oh, dude. We gotta save it.
I know.
But I think another time we went, we had brought Pete Franco up there he was the Villanova strength coach, and now he's at Temple.
Yeah, his brother's at BC now.
Yep, Will. Yep. And we cracked some Jameson up there too, right?
We certainly did. Jameson Black Barrel in the coffee, man.
At like
what? Some good shit, dude.
Oh, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I was feeling the buzz. I was feeling the buzz from victory and a little bit of whiskey, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I still have pictures on there. So yeah, we got to do it.
Whoa! What about the fucking eggs at the bottom? Remember we made eggs on the.
I brought
skillet? You brought. Didn't you bring a hot plate?
Yeah, I brought like a portable grill.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most satisfying meals I've ever had in my life.
So fire.
So good.
Oh my God. So you got to do that with your teams. Just get hard.
Dan, I might be feeling this again sometime soon, man. If it's not too cold, I mean.
Dan, when the fuck are you coming home, dude?
Huh?
Dude, maybe I'm coming home like 2023. Who knows?
This guy, Jesus.
But yeah, man. Anything else, Jake? You got for Conor? I just like the friendly conversation. Didn't want to dive too deep into like the science and stuff. I just kind of want to catch up, see how you are and all that.
Yeah. No worries, man.
Yeah, man. Honestly, no. Just because I'm so excited for this BC roundtable. It's like, Conor, you were the last one I was missing. It's like Dan had said just great things. Said you had like pretty fucking good energy. Said you're strong as shit, blah, blah, blah. He was gassing you prior to this.
Oh, fuck yeah, hey, the strongest shit thing. I love. Wow, way to make my day, Dan.
I got you.
I love it. Damn, bro. Okay. All right.
But
I'm gonna show up for this roundtable.
But nah, I'm all set. We'll get through more at the roundtable. I just wanted to catch in.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a full-on list for the roundtable. We're gonna get through a doozy. That sucker's gonna run for at least an hour. Let's be real.
I'm
good.
When this comes up, make sure I don't forget. I want to tell the story of Russ yelling at Zach and dancing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my God. Okay. Don't say anything else. I won't. I
That's
won't.
it.
And we have to talk about me, Russ, in the bathroom. Please. Please.
Stay tuned. Stay
Oh, boy.
fucking tuned. All right. Connor, stay on. But yeah, Jake, great to see your beautiful face. Love how you're growing the hair out.
Dude,
I don't
yes.
know. I don't know why I can't get rid of this double chin. I don't know if it's like an angle thing or what, bro. But I gotta figure that out. And Connor, we will see you very soon. All
Yes,
right?
he will. Well, you can't say that. Not tell me. Oh, all right. He's saving it. He's saving it. He's holding it back for a reason.
All right,
right.
Jake.
Listeners, until next time and the round table. Peace.
Nice to meet you, buddy.